Hello guys, welcome back to another video. We are going to be working on the V12 powered BMW 760 Ally today, and we're going to be swapping something out that I'm pretty sure a lot of you out there don't even know exists. But before we get into things, make sure you give this video a like. It really does help me out and it shows your appreciation. Without further ado, let's get into things. Okay then, so let's get into things. Today we are going to be swapping out the secondary water pump, which is this thing right here. As you can see, I have a new genuine Peerberg secondary water pump. Now, where is this located on the car and what does it do? So as you are looking into the engine bay, it's more than likely going to be in one place. It is just down here on the passenger side. If you're in the UK, if you're pretty much anywhere else in the world, it's going to be on the driver's side. So it's just located down here on top of the chassis leg. There is an electrical connector that goes into it and then two coolant pipes. Now, what does the secondary water pump actually do? Well, if your car is equipped with one, what it will do is actually keep coolant pumping around the cooling system when your engine is switched off. Now, why does it do this? Some people say it is to keep the coolant running throughout the system, so it keeps the engine cool when the engine has stopped. But I think the main reason is to keep your heaters blowing out hot air for as long as possible when your engine is no longer running. So if you notice in your car that you have a rest button on your climate controls, that's essentially what this does. So it will keep pumping out hot air through your heater vents for as long as possible, as long as your coolant or your antifreeze stays warm for. Now, why are we swapping this out today? So essentially I have a fault code for this. Now, I could remove it, I could inspect it, I could try to see if there looks to be anything visually wrong with it, and maybe we could repair it, or we could just go out and replace it. This car is nearly 20 years old now, so it probably has done its job. Probably is time to swap it out. So that's exactly what we are going to be doing. Now, to me, it looks like it's just held in by a plastic nut just there on this little bracket thing, and then just two coolant pipes and an electrical connector. Now, as you can see, the engine is sort of in bits. The intake plenum has been removed already. You don't need to remove the intake plenum to do this. I'm sort of doing a couple of other jobs at the same time. It would help if you moved your power steering fluid reservoir over to one side if you do have one, because obviously that sits on here. We have this bracket as well that would sit there. So yeah, if you can move everything over to one side just to give yourself as best access as possible, and then you can hopefully get it removed then. So yeah, let's crack on and get this removed. Okay then, so first things first, I'm going to remove that plastic nut, just a 10mm. There we are, there's that removed. So the next thing I'm going to do is remove the electrical connector, just squeeze in the tab and pull off. Now then, for the next stage, of course, we have the two coolant hoses that go to it or from it. Now, ideally, we would drain the coolant, but I'm going to cheat. I don't fancy draining the coolant. I've done it too many times in this car already, so I am going to, I think, remove the top one first, try and hold it up out of the way just to minimize any spillage, and then probably do the same with the bottom one actually, and then obviously we've got to be quick getting the new one in place as well. You can remove the bracket off of the old pump, so that's out of the way. I don't know how much coolant's actually going to be in those lines, to be honest. I guess we'll soon find out. Just going to open the securing clips on them. Put all that over to that side now. As you can see, both of those securing clips for the coolant pipes are popped up. so I just got to wiggle the pipes off themselves. But comparing the two secondary water pumps, both exactly the same. The original should be a Pierberg as well. But yeah, I guess we should just proceed in removing the coolant hoses, and we're going to have to be pretty quick about this. Okay, so there is the top hose removed. Okay, that's actually stopped. There isn't much coolant leaking out there at all. So that goes like so. Push that in place. Secure that there. Yeah, there's really not too much coolant that comes out at this point. So yeah, I wouldn't even bother draining the coolant to do this job. There we go, that's the original pump removed. Yes, it is a Pierberg one. I'll just slide this over the new pump. Yeah, that's over. Push the securing clip down, and there we go. Okay, so I could not help myself. I noticed that the chassis leg underneath where the secondary water pump sits was a bit oily. I guess it's, you know, from a previous leak on the power steering fluid reservoir. Obviously we've swapped it out now, so it's no longer leaking. But yeah, also gave the bracket a bit of a clean up as well. This should just go on now, and we can bolt it down and reinstall the electrical connector. Also just going to give both the connector on the pump a spray and the electrical connector spray as well. Let's get that nut reinstalled. And then finally the electrical connector can be plugged back in as well, and that should be job done. Okay, then let's wrap up any of the jobs we have, get everything put back together, then we'll head in the car, load up ISTA, and just make sure we don't have an error code for the secondary water pump. Okay then guys, so as you can see, the engine is pretty much now back together, and I have fired the engine up. I have went into ISTA, I have ran a test. We was greeted with a bunch of different fault codes. Of course, the historic secondary water pump fault code that was in there. I then deleted the fault codes, started up the engine once again, and as you can see, we now have no more fault codes for the secondary water pump, which would make this job a success. Okay then, so there we go, another job done on the V12 BMW 760 Li. Wasn't too difficult, you know, the hardest thing you could say is actually gaining access to the secondary water pump. Once you have enough access to it, it's literally just a case of, you know, removing the two coolant hoses, unplugging the electrical connector, and that little 10mm nut. But yeah, relatively straightforward task. If you have a fault for your secondary water pump and your BMW's 10, 15, 20 years old, just swap it out. Yeah, you could look at repairing it, but it's, in my opinion, it's really just not worth the hassle. Now, would I recommend getting maybe a cheaper one as opposed to a Pierberg one, which I think I paid around, I think it's like 70, 80 or 90 pounds, which you could say is a lot for something that doesn't do a whole lot in the car, but if you want things done right, get the proper genuine parts, and you know, you should be good for the foreseeable future. Yeah, I am definitely now ticking things off an ever growing list, it seems, for this car, but we are slowly getting there. I'm also doing another major job at the same time, as well, as you probably figured. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this one anyway. Hopefully it's been somewhat insightful. Please give it a like, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you have not already done so. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.